I did it! I actually made the count.
Very nice.
Okay, so hello, people of the internet. Welcome to the Neato Kino Movie Club. I am Kino McFarland. I am an author, writer of stuff like screenplays and things. And I direct horror movies, and I'm a sideshow performer. And Mike, go.
I'm Mike. I'm a podcaster, writer, aspiring filmmaker. I run a podcast with Marcelo here, and that's me.
All right, Marcelo.
I am Marcelo. I do screenplays, do writing, do a lot of film work. On top of that, we do a weekly podcast with Mike called Beers, Bongs, and Battle Axes. We're on Spotify. Definitely check us out. That's pretty much it.
Okay, and tonight we are discussing The Ranger, which came out in 2018, directed by Jenn Wexler. And it is about teen punks on the run from the cops and hiding out in the woods. They come up against the local authority, an unhinged park ranger with an axe to grind.
Dun, dun, dun.
Literally.
I hit my camera. And now I'm red. Weird. Okay. First off, you know what? I haven't done this yet, and I feel like crap for not doing it. I have to ask you all, what are your pronouns? I am she, her.
He, him.
Yeah,
Marcelo?
same. He, him.
I just want to make sure that I get all of that covered.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, back to the film. Some start-off questions. Let's do any of you have a favorite scene or a favorite character?
Personally,
there's not gonna be a lot of good coming from this.
Probably the dude who gets it in the gas station. He was probably my favorite character in the film.
I loved him. He was so good.
I don't have a favorite character, but the scene where she's standing in front of the abandoned house and they're just ripping all the wood off. Seriously, that's a legitimately beautiful shot scene.
There's a lot of really good shots in this film. I was kind of surprised. I was expecting something a lot more low budget.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. There were times when it was like that, though.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think the intro scene, when she was a child, I thought that, I hadn't seen it before, so, I saw that scene, and I thought that was going to be the standard of the rest of the film, and I feel like the color was kind of off, but I think it was just supposed to show the past, but I felt like that was kind of,
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, how did the, cops come? Was it, because the dad, did they come because the uncle was missing or not? Because it seemed like the time of passage to...
I really don't know, because I thought... I was kind of confused about stuff too. I thought the beginning was a little confusing, but I don't know. I don't know what to say about that part, really.
Kino, did you like this movie?
What had happened? I did like it. I actually liked it a lot. I was very entertained, and I liked some of the context. But there's just a few plot holes, I think, that I just thought left me a little confused.
It definitely seems like there's a couple times where they set something up and then it never pays off. Like I said in the Discord chat earlier, that triangular symbol that's both built into the rocks and then painted on the Ranger's chest at one point, it feels like it was going to play a bigger part in the story, and then it shows up twice and is never addressed.
Yeah, I kind of agree, but at the same time, I didn't feel like it was totally necessary. It was kind of just a side thing that's just not I kind of felt like it was enough, but on that part, I don't know. Well, we already addressed one of my questions. Do you feel anything was missing from the storyline?
Yes, a lot.
Several things.
Yeah, characters, good story. No, it's fun. I thought it was good. I overall liked it. There was some things where I was like, meh. I'm sorry, him dressing up as the wolf, I can't take seriously. Like, even in Tusk, I could not. I can't.
I was okay. So when he puts on the wolf, I was very, I don't know. I was just thrown back to the whole White House situation. You get
Gotcha.
And I was just like, no. But like, I don't know. It's very confusing.
Like he was like just because of the way he looked, or like the ideals that were set up, or
Oh, you remember the shaman guy in the
yeah.
White House? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what he reminded me of was exactly that kind of guy, and I was just like, oh, that was a little too close to reality for me.
That guy's an embarrassment to Norse pagans everywhere.
I know.
Just human in general.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, that's fair.
Moving on away from that subject. We don't want to talk about all that nonsense tonight.
I showed Mike, there's a picture of him and it says like Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim.
Okay. So here's what did you think of the killer being an authority figure, or what did you think of the authority versus Punk's dynamic?
Go ahead, Mike.
I thought it was an interesting concept. I think a better film would have executed it, gone a little more in depth with it. It's very a shallow base idea, which is understandable considering this is a slasher flick technically. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely something where I felt like it could have been explored a little bit better, especially considering the runtime of this film is only 80 minutes. I felt like they could have definitely done more with it.
I'm looking up Jenn's filmography, and I think it is her first feature.
Well,
oh, okay.
That's pretty impressive for a debut feature.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I thought, yeah.
I wanted to just add, like, I agree with that, but I also think that they should have added, like, why she went to Punk in the first place, just to kind of emphasize kind of the positive of it, and how just like
because like the Ranger talks about how, like she wouldn't have been the type to go hang out with that crowd.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. And I mean, showing a little girl from that small who's just kind of this really cute, innocent 7-year-old who, I get she just happened to murder her uncle, but like there really is a bridge that could have been there, and you could have just done that through like a montage, her sitting through a window or her sitting in front of a window in the cop station in a house, growing older, and then just listening to the music change from this kind of idyllic 90s, poppy music to just slowly go into punk and like slowly showing her shift like a change.
Sorry, my neighbors.
It's okay.
Mike, any thoughts on that?
I mean, I agree with him. It's basically what he's. Again, the real short runtime. They could have done so many things with it. Flesh out the killer more. Flesh out her, like why she's turned into a drug dealing, essentially teen with a boyfriend who likes to stab cops.
Mm-hmm. And what about her parents? Or like, they're just not in the picture?
Yeah, because they only ever say that she went to visit her uncle during the summer. So, like, what was the home life like? Did she have abusive parents? Is this why she turned into such a?
Yeah, or like, was the uncle an abuser? I know that'd be like split, but I mean, kind of raises some questions.
I was also confused about all of that. Actually, like one of my thoughts was I wasn't entirely sure that she actually shot her uncle, because it didn't show anything that she did it. It was like there was a shot and then the Ranger was there. So I kind of felt like the Ranger had done it because he loved her and was into her.
That's actually kind of how I felt about it too, because like they lean so heavily on the implication, but since they don't show it and we have a basic idea of what kind of a psychopath that guy is, it it just fits with his character that he would make this little girl think she shot a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Exactly. Like I definitely felt like she was being gaslit.
And that actually would have been cool to connect those dots of just like the uncle hears about this and he's just like, I called the cops, but we're still going to teach you how to shoot just in case anything happens or something like that.
Yeah, just it's very interesting. It leaves a lot up to your imagination, I guess.
For sure. I guess my main problem is like I feel they build so much on the villain part of it all to where it's very like slasher, just very heavily into the slasher genre. But then when we finally get the deaths of them, they're just not that fulfilling because then it tries to like just lean back away from any of that stuff. And it's like, whoa, you thought this was that kind of movie, huh?
What do you mean?
Like, no, here's our killer and dressing like a wolf. I can't fucking, I'm sorry.
So you don't think it was enough like a slasher?
Yeah, I felt they could have leaned more into that into the second half because the first half they set it up kind of perfectly in just that these are a bunch of douchebag kids, like who treat drugs like candy. Especially emphasize that one blue-haired girl. She just puts her finger in and just like just like fun dip and starts going like that. And you're like, Jesus. And and the boyfriend who's just like such a dick and is just hitting on everything. Yeah. And you're just like, okay, so these guys are going to get killed later. I'm up for that. Then they do, but then like the biggest stick of them all does not get like that satisfying moment for everybody to watch to where it's like, it was worth it. Which I get if it was trying to make that point, but I feel like the blocks it was setting up did not emphasize that we might get to that point.
Yeah. So this is kind of like we're kind of already in the question that I had next. But I just want to so the progression of the kills, you don't think they were very good. Like, what did you think of how did the first kill make you feel is my question.
Are we well, I guess she is still technically the first kill, right? Even though she ODs before or in the middle of all that. Yeah,
and it's only because the dick boyfriend gave it to her.
I did feel that one was a little unsatisfying just because you could tell from like the initial gunshot that the budget for the practical effects wasn't the biggest, and they kind of saved it for the bear trap later. So it felt like that's kind of a letdown because normally in a bigger budget movie that gunshot would have looked way worse and it would have been way more chaotic.
I with me in the first kill, I thought that it was okay. I felt it was a bit of a letdown, like him getting the gun out of the car and just like that's fine because that's standard fare. It was a little unsatisfying. Like I thought there'd just be like a little more, or it'd be done a little more stylish, like the whole everything building up from the beginning was supposed to be.
Okay, what do you think about the punk kids being assholes and the portrayal of that stereotype kind of thing, and then them being killed? What do you think along those lines?
At least for me, I found I don't have a problem with your cast being unlikable characters. I just didn't like how surface level unlikable they were. Like when they first encounter the ranger at the gas station, they're throwing out every punk rock cliche in the book. Fuck the police. And it's just very surface level and no real depth to it. So, you almost don't care enough to find them unlikable because there's no depth to it.
Yeah, they're not very entirely well-rounded. I feel like probably the most well-rounded characters are Chelsea and I kind of want to say Jerk.
He's the one who gets it in the gas station, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that.
Completely agree. They're not like stereotypes, or just they're here because they're X being like gay, black, like they're not to fill something. But I want to say with the punk thing, and I think this is my main problem with it, was just that like it's built like a regular slasher in that like it doesn't delve into that punk genre to make you kind of feel that side, and it doesn't delve into the other side of it from the Ranger's point of view to delve into that as to why he might hate them, or that like kind of give like some emphasis on leaning one side or the other. Like again, like Mike was saying, it's just base value, and that's what really kind of hurts the film, I think, is just that it doesn't have you lean into one way or another. Like it's just set up to where these kids are assholes, and it has that punk thing on it because maybe the director or writer might have had like a bad time with the punk, and they're like, you know what? I'd like to write a movie where we kill punks. And then and then when they're at the gas station, I'm sorry, but like when he calls the Ranger Smokey Bear, and like everybody's like, oh, got him, jeez, and they're just like, greatest thing ever. And like it was just like, that's stupid.
They're excessively dumb, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So I have a random question. Was I the only one who watched this movie and was wishing the entire time that Henry Rollins would have played the Ranger?
Ooh, I like that.
Is a really good point, and I would have loved that.
I don't know. There's just something poetic about like one of the ultimate punks playing this authoritarian figure, killing punks. That would have just made the movie so much better.
See, that's a good idea. Then the movie would have been 5 hours, just him talking. They'd have to like cut back.
He has an hour and a half of just random Black Flag stories.
Oh my god!
It's one time we were on tour.
Yeah, during the recording of Damage, it's like fucking hell.
So, back on the characters a little bit. What do you think of Chelsea's character arc? Like, do you think it was? I don't know. What do you think about it? I'm not very prepared today. Sorry.
That's all right.
Happens to the best of us.
We never are on our podcast, so.
Oh God, no. I think her arc would have stuck a little bit better with me if they had gone more deeply into like her backstory, and if they had leaned into like the concept you brought up of, well, it seems like the Ranger killed the uncle and is just gaslighting her, because then it would have made it so that in the end, even though the Ranger dies, he achieved his goal of making her a killer like him. He couldn't do it when she was 7, but he managed to do it now when she's an adult. And so, yeah, it's one of the better arcs in the movie, but it leaves something to be desired.
Yeah. I'd agree, but at the same time, I think her arc is good, but it definitely could have been better, because it's very relatable in that something happens, whether it's like the loss of a loved one or you just kind of don't fit in. So that's kind of why she leaned into that punk culture to kind of just, grab a bunch of friends. Like that's a relatable arc, and then happens to revisit her past and try and find a way to like make amends with that past. Like that's a good story. Like that's a good arc, but I just felt it didn't convey that enough. And she's actually a pretty good actress, I gotta say.
I loved her. I loved her when she switched, like, and she just became more like sure of herself and just like more powerful. I don't know. I loved her little switch there.
I was kind of confused at points, because there were times when for sure she like would like become more confident and just like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like going through my shit. And she finds that out. But then later when her boyfriend's being a dick, like she doesn't like tell him off or anything. And that was just kind of, there was some sort of disconnect. And then
I wonder though, like,
go ahead.
In my experience being a woman, like I have felt
since
like
when?
I feel like that kind of relationship, like you kind of want to be the person that person wants you to be. And then, which maybe in her case was like a meek character of some kind who just like takes the shit and just rolls with it. And like, because she's with the punk kids, so she's like, I should just relax, like they kept telling her. But then when she starts like taking control, it's like, this is who I am.
Yeah. In your position though, Kino, let's say that you like kind of started to come into your own, say, like the character, and it's because of the circumstance of, oh, they're either going through my crap or something's going on here. So you like tell everybody off and just like, you guys are being such dicks. We need to like not do all this. Later on, if you're with your boyfriend who you kind of told off earlier because you thought he was going through your stuff, would you not still like be in that mode to like tell him off? Or
is he abusive?
Emotionally, yes, because we're doing
that.
it based on this.
Yeah, so I think because of their dynamic and it being like he's abusive to some degree, then I would probably lay off a little bit on the next, like when we're in a more private situation.
Okay, I could see that. See, and I wish that the movie would have got that point across more to me, because I'm sure there's like a lot of parts in movies handled by women that are specifically catered towards that audience, and I'm all for that, don't get me wrong, but for sure it's like if you want like the other gender to learn and for me to learn just as a human being in general, like I just wish that there was a little more clarity just for us.
Yeah, I agree. There definitely should have been more clarity in like the relationships and the characters, and like definitely. But yeah, it was just I don't know.
Because like
it's a tough topic, but yeah.
Of course. Yeah. And again, too, like I'm all for it, but I do think sometimes it goes overboard. Like this might step on toes, and I don't care. But the Charlie's Angels remake, I really liked it. Don't get me wrong. The first 5 minutes, though, it was just like we set up the movie, and then there's like a 3-minute montage, and it was just kind of weird because it was like it was just showing nothing but like women being doctors, and it had nothing to do with the movie. It was just like women being doctors in a doctor's office, women being secretaries, which I get the message of like, you can do anything, women that are watching this, but it kind of went so much overkill to where it's just like, if you have a penis, leave this theater right now.
I didn't see it, so I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know how it was portrayed at all. So
it was to the theme, and it went from them doing the first mission of the movie to set up like, hey, these are like some kick-ass women, and then I get what it was trying to do in saying that there are other kick-ass women that do like ordinary jobs, but again, it just kind of came off like it seriously just had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. There was no point about it at all. It was like a Michael Bay random cut in the movie.
I think in regards to the Ranger, I think it had really good subtext, but because it was so designed to be a slasher, that the genre itself doesn't allow it to really hit those marks. So like we don't really get the clarity and the information that we necessarily need because of the slasher genre.
I could see that. I can. Trying to think of how to put it, but I just wish that there was just a little more backstory. Like they didn't need to add on to the time by like 15 minutes, but just little moments was just all that was. Just a little bit of a breather, because it was already really, really short to 80 minutes. And also just my thoughts on the ending. If the whole point was the Ranger was actually trying to say that the girl was like, that Chelsea was like him, I kind of wish that the cops were kind of coming over the hill like in the first scene. And then while she like sees the cops over there, that's when you could have the wolf come in and do the crowd, like her and the wolf just yelling and just howling.
I completely forgot
about that scene. Way to end it.
Yeah.
Because that's fine. I mean, the Gray with Liam Neeson did that, where he just fights a wolf at the end, and you don't know unless you watch the end credits. But and like that's completely fine, and I get what it was going for, and it definitely could have got the message across a little clearer. I think if they would have done one more pass at the script, or maybe there's like stuff that they edited that it could have just. Like they filmed and they could have just done it a little better, just a little better pacing.
Yeah, I'm not really familiar with what happened during the production process. I thought I knew more people that were involved with the film, but I think I only knew one of the producers. And I vaguely know Jenn Wexler, but we're not like friends. We're acquaintances, but I'm not sure we have talked in a very long time, but I don't really
bad blood.
Oh no, I just don't talk to people. I don't know. Like it's just like one of those we meet in passing kind of thing. You know?
I got you.
Yeah.
I read her script called The Park Ranger. I said it was stupid.
No, but I kind of wonder like if like. They had any production issues that made them cut any important scenes out or anything. Because I know in my experience shooting short films and even like the features that I have worked on, like we've had to like negotiate with a lot of stuff like on set and rearrange stuff. But at the same time, well, sometimes like you can make it work and sometimes you can't. And like, I just want to know if like any of that happened. I think in the future I'll probably have to get like people who were involved in the films on this. But
that'll be awesome.
Yeah. And then we also talk, but at the same time, I don't want to be like we're talking crap about anybody's movie while they're on here. I think doing that in the future would be a horrible idea.
That would be great. Listen, your movie sucked. Get over it.
But as I said in an earlier episode, there is no bad movie. They all have like their value.
I recommended Loquisha to you. Did you watch it?
You keep bringing this movie up, Marcelo. Is it still on Tubi? Because I will watch it tonight if it is.
I think so.
Oh God,
it's bad.
Oh no.
Remember, it's written by the guy.
Bad. The movie can be bad, but culturally it has a significance.
I don't know. You should watch at least the trailer. He's pretending to be a black woman. It's a white guy, and he wrote it, and he's like having all the black characters just like, yeah, what you're doing's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh boy.
There's a lot wrong with that idea, yeah. But culturally, you can think about it, and like the fact that we can pinpoint it and be like, that is wrong.
Oh yeah, I agree with you there. I mean, what is it? Isn't the first movie to have Sound the jazz singer, and that was just like that in itself is wrong with Al Jolson doing blackface. So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Unless they're fans of Al Jolson, I don't know.
That is all the questions I have.
Al Jolsonites.
Very quickly. We have like half an hour left to talk about whatever you want regarding the film.
Well, one thing I wanted to bring up that I thought was kind of a highlight of this movie was the relationship between I keep forgetting his name. The gentleman who dies in the gas station.
Jerk.
That's right. Him and his boyfriend. Like they worked that in so naturally, whereas like a lesser movie would have been like like neon signs, like look, they're an interracial gay punk couple.
Yep.
Yes.
And they just treat it like it's everyday life, and it made me really happy to see that because that's the natural kind of diversity that I like to see in film.
Yes,
that was very good, and I just love that there is a black punk in this film.
Oh yeah.
Because
Another thought I did have about this movie is it's kind of hard for me to take the whole punk aesthetic seriously in it because one of my favorite films is Green Room, and they just capture that whole aesthetic so perfectly. Whereas most of these guys do look kind of like they were ripped out of Jason Takes Manhattan. Like that sort of like 80s Hollywood, we don't actually know what punk is look.
Oh yeah.
I feel like they looked very much like Return of the Living Dead. Like, and then
Yes.
like their whole dynamic was very Return of the Living Dead.
Definitely.
I agree.
I love that movie.
I want to add in the convenience store though. You could tell that they were like really being careful to not break anything.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
kind of funny. Yeah, just like step this way, and you just like, all right, you throw me into the thing, and
The guy said if we break it, we buy it. We were already over budget.
exactly. Like you can tell, like the ranger himself is just like, I failed.
Well, moving around in those places is really difficult because the aisles are so small.
Oh yeah,
When you got a whole crew in there, a boom
Yeah,
operator,
there's
lighting
probably,
and
like,
sound.
14 people behind the camera, and then
Oh,
you
yeah.
got actors.
no, not denying that at all. It just was funny how like
I get
you
what
could
you're
tell
saying.
how very careful they were.
Yeah.
Because if they had the budget to like build a convenience store set, they would have been going through the doors to the refrigerators, fucking knocking shelves over. Things would be flying.
There was
But
probably
they clearly didn't have
Yeah.
that budget,
Yeah.
so they're like, "Don't break anything."
It was probably like so many bloopers of like them almost swinging to like, whoa, all right, guys, take 5. Let's try and re-step where you're gonna do this.
I would love to see the blooper reel. That would be fun.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was like, the owner of this place knows my dad. We really can't break anything, or my family won't be allowed back here.
Oh. Well. Okay. Random question. What's your star rating for the film?
Are we going out of 5?
Out of 5. 1 out of 5. Or 1 to 5, not 1 words. I can't talk today. I don't know.
It's okay.
I'd have to say a solid 3, because what it lacks in the script department, I do think it makes up for like having some really beautiful shots, some very professional looking shots, especially with the drone shots at the beginning when they're driving through the mountains. And yeah, the actors were all pretty good. I think the boyfriend was the only one where I was just like, you're hamming it up a little too much, pal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
I thought it was interesting that he was like so obsessed with the idea of being like Bonnie and Clyde. I thought that was interesting. But anyway, go ahead, Marcelo.
No, same 3 out of 5. I liked it. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like the story could have just gotten another pass through. I really do think that they shot like a good movie in here that really still could have been paced well like a slasher. It's just that I think the editor, whoever edited it, I think that they were trying to do something they shouldn't have with this movie and try and make it more like a mystery with the payoff and still be a slasher. Whereas I think if they played it straight through, it probably would have helped the movie that much more.
So you think the downfalls are the editing?
I think so, yeah, just like the editing of the narrative. I think if you just had the actual park ranger and then you stuck with Chelsea throughout the whole movie, and you knew going in that she killed her grandfather and that's what she's kind of hiding, or her uncle. I'm sorry. Yeah. Then like it probably would have done more to the actual narrative, and I feel like it would have been definitely a little more of a fulfilling movie. And also too, whatever they left out, there probably is more they left out that they probably could have added in, just from what I've seen of this. And I really do think that there is a really, really good movie in here, but it just needs to be re-edited or just something.
Interesting. I also wonder like how much of what we saw is their cut and what is done by distributors or whoever else, because
I didn't even think about that.
Do distributors usually cut films they buy like that?
Occasionally.
I did not know that.
Marketing is usually like the biggest issue. Like things will be displayed or portrayed as something that they're not, but I don't think that they had that problem with this one. I want to say like maybe a distributor is the wrong word I'm thinking of. I can't think. I'm looking at the IMDb to see like.
Do you mean like Shudder or like the production company?
Not Shudder. I want to say like words. Why can't I think today?
It's Sunday. Nobody's supposed to be thinking today.
Mm-hmm.
I was working in a barn all morning, and then there was like this horse who's like, "I'm gonna look like I'm gonna die."
Oh no!
Don't do that.
Is that all you said? And you're just like, well, have a good one.
No, I was the
Take
one
it
who
easy.
noticed that he was feeling sick, but I left after we called the vet and stuff, and then I got a text message saying he was fine. But
Oh,
Hooray!
yeah.
we gave him some medicine and a blanket, and I don't know. It was weird. It was just very weird.
Yeah.
Trying to see like, special effects. No.
And also, Kino, just to like run something that I think is identical to you in this movie, that personally where I would have loved to have seen part of the story is just like there's this girl that's into punk, but she's been into other stuff before her life, you know? And I would have loved to just have seen the progression. We didn't need to like get into like a dark story or anything, but at least just that progression.
I agree. I loved like that aspect of it, that she had these two parts to her, especially like the whole city girl versus wilderness, and like how the Rangers like, we're going to like, I don't know, rip the city out of you, basically is what he was saying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have had so much in my own mind, like dealing with those like two dynamics in my own life. And I was just like, I just love that part.
See, and that's fascinating. And I wish they would have gotten a little more into that.
I wish they did too. I really do think I would have liked to see more of Chelsea's background, to see like how she got involved with these friends and like more of their dynamic other than them just being asshole kids.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
also, how did they get out of the diner? Because the cops were in there. It just cuts to them in the van.
Apparently, those cops just didn't notice them.
Yeah.
There was a lot of magic of editing in this film. Like,
oh, gotcha.
One thing, like at the end when she smashes the Ranger's head so many times, and then he's just standing and talking like normal. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Especially with his missing teeth and everything.
Yeah. That was good. I like that shot. Also, too, like what sucks is like they missed the part where they could have had a little bit of a message in there in the characters thing, because Jerk had the spray can that was pink, and then when he sprayed it on the Ranger, it was black. And it sucks because they could have just had the pink across there, and it could have emphasized how much he like had Chelsea in his mind the whole time. He saw nothing but her.
I think when he spray painted, like he did have a black can. Like in the woods, he had the pink spray can, but I think if you used.
I thought he only had just the pink one.
Oh, now I'm confused.
Because that's the only time they really show him spray painting is out in the forest, right? Like they never set up that he has multiple cans of spray paint.
Yeah, he just had the one that was attached to him. That's what I thought.
But he spray painted him in the gas
store.
station, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I could have sworn it had a pink cap.
Was he spray painting anything when he wasn't in there? No. Did he grab it off a shelf? I don't know. I thought I remembered him grabbing something off a shelf, but I could be totally wrong.
Kind of want to
I might be making that up.
It's not that important.
No, but that's a really good point though. Like if they kept with the pink theme, that would have been very clever, because her hair was so bright pink.
Yeah, they had all the parts there.
Yeah, that's a real missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Especially considering how heavily tinted pink that whole scene is from the neon outside.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good point. Like, that is definitely something that should be considered. Like, personally, I love how certain films will visually emphasize anything like that. Like, that is not stated. I don't...
Oh, yeah.
My brain. I swear.
That's all right.
I have caffeine.
You need sleep.
That's probably true.
What is this sleep you speak of, Marcelo?
I don't know.
Okay.
I only got 4 hours last night.
I never said my rating. I wanted to give it like 3.5 stars out of 5 because I really enjoyed it. I liked the music involved a lot because that's kind of my scene. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. I think it could have had more depth to it for sure, but it's a good romp.
Oh yeah. And also too, that's another thing, Jerk's boyfriend who's trying to come up with a name. Like, what if they would have came up with like, what about the Slaughtered Kids or something? Like, it might have been a little too on the nose, but
didn't he say severed? Like when he got his
he's in the van.
Yeah. And he was like, "Oh, it's severed." And I was like, "Yes, you got a name." And then he's dead.
He did a pretty good job with his performance when he gets out of the van and finds Jerk like half buried, or did he get cut in half? I couldn't tell at that point.
I think cut in half.
I think he was cut in half, and then his intestines were like a trail.
That's right.
Yeah, because the wolves were right after.
But I thought he did a really good job in that performance when he finds Jerk's torso leaning up against a tree.
Yeah. Again, there's a good movie in here. I really do think that. I don't know what was left on the cutting floor or what they have like actually filmed, but I swear there's actually a really good movie. Shudder, hit me up. I'll edit it for you.
Honestly, it does feel like it has the potential to be a really good movie that's something more than just a slasher flick if they explored the themes a little bit and leaned a little less into the slasher. Like you could obviously keep the kills and everything like that, but just a little bit longer running time, more fleshed out characters, and you've got a really good like multi-genre film on your hands.
Yeah. I agree. I think it had a lot of potential, and I'm actually really excited to see what's next for them, like Jenn Wexler.
Yeah, definitely.
If this is just her first go, then
I'm excited to see what she can do with more experience and a little more grasp on the whole process.
Agreed. Didn't she have something else?
To the Google.
I am looking. She had directed. Looks like she just has TV episodes listed on IMDb right now.
Yeah, something called Pandora on the CW. Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
We don't go there.
Yeah, I don't know what
it says 4.1 out of 10, so I'm like, well, I haven't seen it. No, it's not.
She's produced a lot.
She has, yeah. Which good for her. Like I'm all for definitely like more, women in horror and everything.
For sure.
Because I mean, essentially, they've been a part of it. They've been a part of it the whole time ever since Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Marilyn Burns.
Way before that.
If we go, Peeping Tom?
When was Peeping Tom made?
39, possibly?
Hitchhiker, but Peeping Tom that's the wrong show.
I haven't seen Peeping Tom in forever, but I forget if there's a female protagonist.
Well, what about Psycho? Going all the way back to that.
Peeping Tom is 1960.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, no, of course with Janet Leigh.
The Hitchhiker was 19. No, that's. Am I looking at the wrong thing?
I haven't seen The Hitchhiker. What's The Hitchhiker about?
The Hitchhiker is 1953, directed by Ida Lupino.
Ooh.
Woman.
Mike Italian.
Hey,
that
was actually my grandma's name, Ida.
Yeah?
Really?
Yeah.
So the Hitchhiker is two fishermen pick up a psychotic escaped convict who tells them that he intends to murder them when the ride is over.
Oh my.
I've seen it a couple of times. It's really good.
And you said it's 53?
Yeah, 53.
I'm going to have to check that out. That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, think that might have been. I'm trying to think. I don't think that's the first horror directed by a woman, but it's one of the most talked about, I want to say.
I am looking right now just to see like first horror. What would we say, director?
Yeah.
Women director.
And then there's silence as everyone Googles. I probably have a book behind me, actually.
Please, yeah, that would be great.
Let's see.
Well, it says since the early days of cinema, including films as Fausta Mustaphalis, directed by filmmaking pioneer Alice Guy. I think probably Alice Guy Blanche is what they were getting at. And the thriller Suspense, directed by Lois Weber. No, Alice Guy. Yeah, the Suspense, directed by Lois Weber and featuring a very young Lon Chaney. Uncredited role. Uncredited role.
Women with guts.
Yes, this is one of the books that came out with Rue Morgue. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
Awesome.
Yeah. My complaint is that it's so freaking thin. I was like, please fill this up.
It needs to be bigger.
You got to be in there, Kino. That's the thing.
I wish.
One day that thing will be thicker than a Stephen King novel.
Indeed.
That's right. Even on Not My Own Show, I will bring up Stephen King at every opportunity.
Are you a big Stephen King fan?
Oh, yeah. My mom's been collecting his books since he started publishing back in the 70s, and I've been reading him since like the 4th grade.
There's not like a week goes by without conversation coming up with his name.
That's because I'm constantly reading something by him.
I think he is boring.
Oh, he's not for everybody.
I love what he's done with the genre, and I love movies that are based on his work. But like his writing, I'm just not into it. I even tried reading his on writing book, and I'm like, I love his son though. His son,
Joe Hill, he's a fantastic author too. I've only read The Fireman by him, but I really liked that book.
I love Lock and Key. Like,
I listened to the audio drama that Audible did of it. I haven't actually read the comics yet.
I love them. And then Netflix has the series,
which is really, really good. I liked it a lot.
I'm excited to watch it. Maybe I'll do that this week.
Yeah, I know King can be extremely long-winded, but I've
always that's my problem with it.
I've always really enjoyed. He makes some of the most believable characters of any books I've ever read, and that's always what's attracted me to it. And also, killer clowns. Can't go wrong with that.
I like how a lot of his characters are writers.
Oh, yeah. He always puts a little bit of himself into these books.
Yeah, I do like that a lot. Like, I don't have an issue with him. He just bores me.
I totally get where you're coming from with that. It doesn't bother me, but yeah.
Hey, Kino, we should watch the Dark Tower movie that came out. It's based
swear
on.
to God, Marcelo, I'm going to kill you. I will stab you.
Speaking of which, the next film for April is The Bay.
The Bay. Ooh.
The Bay. It is an eco horror. Let me see if I can find the year.
Yeah, it's Barry something. It's the guy who freaking did Bandits and Envy. Which is I'm interested in watching it. I actually have been wanting to watch it.
That's a show. I'm confused. Where is the IMDb is failing me.
Is it?
I got a real problem with IMDb these days.
Uh-oh.
They bought the rights to Hell's Kitchen, and so now you can only find the censored version on Prime instead of the uncensored. Nobody wants to hear Gordon Ramsay cussing people out with censorship. Damn it. And you have to watch it with commercials.
Oh, no, that's horrible. So, The Bay, I think this is the correct one. Released in 2012. Horror sci-fi thriller. It is listed in eco-horror stuff. I don't know. And then next month is Earth Month, so I was like, it's on theme. Yay.
Sounds like a solid plan right there.
Yeah. So
It really looks good too.
What I'm doing is anyone who wants to be in the chat, like video wise, they can sign up in the Discord. I will have a sign up sheet so I know who's coming because I haven't really been aware of who's going to be here.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought there'd be like one or two more.
Yeah, I thought Michelle was going to be here. She's probably busy. I don't know. She's a vet assistant or something like that. So she's got lots of stuff going on. She's also been working on a film or two.
Oh,
that's cool.
She's doing I think makeup for Friday the 13th Vengeance, which is a fan film.
Ooh,
nice. Where can I point? He's doing a review of all the Friday the 13th.
Me and my buddy Maya were getting ready to gear up. And it's not really like ranked necessarily by best one, but which one is the most Friday the 13th out of them. And it takes into account like body count, how many boobs we see throughout the film, bonus points for people who don't get killed by Jason, so on and so forth.
Fun.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a good one.
This is all scientific, by the way.
It's true. We hired somebody from MIT to come up with the formulas for determining this.
He told us to fuck off, so we made our own.
Okay. Any final thoughts on the Ranger or Neato Kino Movie Club or anything before I make us stop being live? Before I kill us?
Honestly, just thanks for having me on. This was a blast, and I've been enjoying watching this too.
Excellent. I'm glad you're here, both of you.
Thanks. I'm glad to be the part of this, really. I have fun like always. Shudder, hit me up. You want this edited correctly. I'm serious. But otherwise, a good movie. Good.
Also,
good
hit
movie.
him up for scripts. He's a talented writer.
Oh, thank
you. Shudder didn't edit
it. What's that?
Shudder didn't edit it.
Oh, well, producers, hit me up and edit it. Give me all you got, and I'll make a great movie out of this.
They're just hosting it on their site.
Oh, well, producers, hit me up. Producers of this movie, hit me up, and I will re-edit this.
That's one of the things
I'll right-click and delete, and we'll be good.
It's one of the things that bothers me about the modern world of streaming and cinema is when you hit play, it says a Shudder original, when in reality they didn't have a damn thing to do with this film. They just bought it after it was complete.
Yeah.
I agree. It's a shame. I think, trying to think of what companies actually worked with it. I think Glass Eye Pix was one of them. I think they might have been the distributor.
Glass Eye Pix, hit me up.
Not entirely sure. But yeah, anyway, so thanks for coming. And our next one is the last Saturday of April, which I don't even know what that day is. Or Sunday, not Saturday. Man. It is the 25th.
Cool.
25th of April.
I feel like as a joke, I should watch like Michael Bay movies. For
wait.
Yeah, we were supposed to watch this. And then just,
here's hoping I can join with that one.
You can try all you like.
I get my last COVID shot the day before, so I may be dying on Sunday.
Oh, no.
Oh. We'll miss you, buddy. We'll have the memoriam show. It's going to be the Mike Moore in memoriam show next time.
I'm going to end the broadcast. We can continue our chat and discussion in the studio area. And goodbye, people of the internet.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching.
Oh, wait. Hold on.
Oh.
I want to do something real fast.
Oh, well, there we go. Never mind.
Hey.
I almost forgot.
Thank you.
This is Mike's YouTube channel. And then we have Marcelo's social information. And everyone should know how to find me because my name is pretty much this.
Also, okay. Spotify, Beers, Bongs, Battle Axes, people.
And Apple Podcast.
Okay. And bye, Jonas.
Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us, Jonas. Okay, bye.